colleagues, honored guests, I am delighted to be here today to administer the oath of office to our friend, Judge Debra Mayfield. I've known Judge Mayfield for many years, since she was 25 years old, and she reminded me recently that over dinner I gave her, I'm known to give advice, my law clerks tell me I give too much, my family says I give too much. I gave her advice on how to choose a husband. As things turn out, my advice wasn't needed. I think she did pretty well on her own. This is the second time this week that I have the pleasure of being with Judge Mayfield and her family. A couple of days ago, we were in Austin, where we had the privilege of watching and being there when Governor Abbott administered the oath of office. And next week we'll be in Dallas and then in El Paso to continue the tour. I'm kidding. Actually, the ceremony at our state capitol was quite beautiful. I love attending events like swearing-ins, like today, because they represent the culmination of many years of hopes, dreams, and hard work. Knowing this, I was almost moved to tears as I watched her take the oath of office. And Deborah, let me tell you today, I'll call you Deborah, I am so proud of you. So proud. I want to challenge what Randy said. He likes to talk about a scintilla of the evidence. As an appellate judge, I'm going to review that for legal and factual sufficiency. But, after City of Keller. Debra, Judge Mayfield, has asked me to share with you some of her background, some of her professional background. And I begin with a legendary observation by Ernest Hemingway. It is good to have an end to journey toward, but it is the journey that matters in the end. And Judge Ibarra began her journey in Houston, as you heard, Texas A&M, and my alma mater, South Texas College of Law. But she and I share another professional experience in common. She began her legal career as a briefing attorney on the 14th Court of Appeals. Now, I sat on the 14th Court of Appeals here in Houston for almost a decade. And I know my hiring practices, and I knew the hiring practices of my colleagues. So I can tell you that it is not easy to get a job as a briefing attorney on a court of appeals. We seek out the brightest legal minds to help us solve the most complex cases. It's a job that requires unwavering excellence and allows no margin for error. Much like the job you're going to be doing now, Judge Mayfield, but if you do err, I'm happy to let you know about that. In my new role. But besides being perfectionists on the details of a case, law clerks must also write very well. A busy appellate court like the 14th Court of Appeals has a very complex caseload. And after all my time there, I'm tempted to say a never-ending caseload, much like the one you'll encounter here. Law clerks are invaluable in helping to keep things running smoothly. And then there are other more intangible qualities that make a law clerk successful. And I see former Justice Wanda Fowler in the audience, and actually Judge Mayfield worked for Justice Fowler. But Justice Fowler will share with you that law clerks must have good judgment beyond their young years, and ability to see how small details impact the big picture. And perhaps most important for a collegial environment, they must work well with others. They have to be good people. They have to get along. Judge Mayfield demonstrated all these qualities, and so it was no surprise that after leaving the 14th Court of Appeals, she joined a very well-regarded Houston firm. She became a mainstay of the firm, standing out even among very well-respected colleagues. She managed a busy trial and appellate docket. She, as you heard, practiced in appellate courts all over the state for a wide array of clients, handling personal injury, premises liability, negligence, medical malpractice, commercial disputes. In short, she has a lot of experience. She's done it all, and she's seen it all. Now, as an appellate judge, I got to see another aspect of Judge Mayfield's work, and that is her ability to present a matter to a court of appeals. I've had the unique privilege of presiding over thousands of appeals in about 13 years on the appellate court. Her oral advocacy was always excellent. Her written product, flawless. Whenever I picked up a brief with her name on the bottom, I knew I could count on cogent legal arguments. I knew I could count on a brief that would be persuasive, but also scholarly. A brief that would serve the clients well. Her practice was very successful, but as you heard, she answered the call to service. And in doing so, we got to see what Judge Mayfield was like as a judge on the bench. She has strong convictions. She has a well-defined judicial philosophy. She's fair, but most importantly, she has the courage to do the right thing no matter the consequences. And the right thing for her is always following the law, carefully guarding her oath to uphold the Constitution. I won't go into her community service work because you've heard of it, but I'll close with this. In addition to all of the awards she's received, she is a woman of faith. Her faith is uplifting, and her trust in God is very reassuring. Her success in her journey reminds us, in the words of Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans